Hey, what's going on, everyone? I'm S2F Gaming, and welcome back to day 21 of the 100 Days Hardcore series here on Lost Island. Now, guys, in between episodes, I've went ahead and brought everything inside. So if you guys remember, we had a couple of storage boxes over there. We had a bookshelf. Everything is now in our little shack. So we have 4 refining forges, 1 smithy, we have our bed, we have ourselves 2 storage boxes, and then we have ourselves the bookshelf, and then also in the future we'll have some mortar and pestles here. This will be temporary. Eventually I would like to have multiple buildings we can kind of spread out along this little island that we're in right now, and yeah, kind of have everything compartmentalized. I think it's just going to work out a little bit better that way. Today, though, guys, I want to go out and try to get myself an Anky. I want to ultimately get all of the utility tames, which would be an Anky, a Doedicurus, and then hopefully a mammoth at some point. Personally, when it comes to wood gathering, I just really like the mammoth. I think it gets a decent amount of wood, but it also gets a decent amount of thatch, so it kind of kills 2 birds with 1 stone there. But when it comes to the Anky, here is why I want to get this thing first. So right over there, we have 2 metal nodes, right? Right on over there somewhere, I think it's like right on that ridge there, there's either 2 or 3 metal nodes. Right over there on that ridge, you can see it kind of poking out a little bit. There's at least 1 or 2 metal nodes there. So the gist is, we have a lot of metal in our area. So pretty much, I want to get myself an Anky so we can start getting a lot of metal production. Because don't get me wrong, yes, we have a metal pickaxe and everything like that. We can get some metal from those. But the Anky is just that much better. Here's the big problem. We are still currently using trank arrows, not trank darts or anything yet. And we only have a total of 37. So whatever one that we go with, whatever Anky we go with, it's not going to be a max level or anything like that. We're going to have to get the highest we can, but at the same time, we do have to realize we only have 37 trank arrows. It's not like we have a lot to work with here. The plan and the hope is eventually we're going to upgrade ourselves to a long neck, whether we do make that ascendant long neck that we found in a drop at the one time, I don't know, because it does require 5,000 metal, which to me, I don't think it's worth it. I think it's better to just go on a couple of loot runs and hope to God we just come across a better one. I don't really know yet. We'll have to figure that out when the time comes. But for right now, let's see what we can get with 37 total arrows. I will mention, we're already looking at 1555. It just took a little bit while to log on and actually move everything into the house. So we're already a little bit behind here. But don't worry, most likely this episode will go further than 1 day. It's probably going to be like day 21 and 22 kind of thing. But we'll have a look around, see what we can find. Okay. I don't know how I feel about blue drops with rings around it, but I guess you never know. Maybe we'll get lucky here. Or not. That's okay. Yeah, so rule of thumb for me is, when I'm, like, looking for drops and stuff, I typically... What level are we currently? So we're level 72. So I try to go for purple drops and above. And if I'm going to go for a purple drop, it has to have a ring around it, just to try to get a little bit better in quality. Purple drops sometimes tend to have long necks in them, so that's kind of why I give it a chance. But in a perfect world, just yellow and red drops at this point. This one's just a normal purple. I love how I said we're going for Ankys, and the first thing I see loot drops, and I'm like, let's go, let's check them out now. But let's have a quick look at this one before we actually head on back. I don't think it has a ring around it. Usually you can tell from a distance if they do. No ring around it. Okay, let's kind of loop back around. Now, personally, you can find Ankys all over the map. I tend to have the best chance of finding Ankys in the volcanic region right over here. So we'll have a quick look over here first. If we can't find one, no big deal. We'll check the other regions. But this region's usually pretty good, and then I kind of just fly them over to a safer area and then knock them out over there. So we'll have to see what we can find. Now, keep in mind, we will actually have to switch out the dinos here. We will have to use the, there's an iguanodon. Level 50. And look at that, right away. There's an Anky behind it. What level are you? 55. No, I think we can get better. But we'll have to see. So another thing that I've actually done is, you might see right there, there's like a light blue color, well, the Magmasaur got rid of it. You will start seeing some crazy colors because the Easter event has not begun yet, but the colors have seemed to be showing up a little bit early. So I did in fact do a dino wipe. Ooh, perfect. We have an Anky right here. Let's see. Is this going to be a good one or no? Let's see. Come on, please. 90. I feel like we can knock you out. With 36 Tranks, I think we can pull this off on a level 90. I'm not going to go anything better than this. This is totally fine. Let's get Frostbite out here. Gotta remember, we have Cryo cooldown. I have to remember that because this is one of the worst regions to have Cryo sickness in. What do you have? You have raw meat, so we'll put that on Frostbite here. And we'll throw everything on Frostbite. That's totally fine. Pick you on up, bring you to the other region here. We gotta fly a little bit of a ways. I think we're gonna pretty much just go straight down this way to this little island. Straight ahead of me, right there. If you could see ahead, there's the jagged rocks and stuff like that. We'll probably just head on over there. Tends to be a safe area over there, and then we should be able to knock this thing out. But yeah, like I was saying, the Easter event colors have seemed to have started a little early. So I have, in fact, done a dino wipe in order to hopefully promote those Easter colors, because personally, I like them. I like how some of the colors look and everything like that. So, who knows? Maybe eventually we'll see some Easter color dinos, but for right now, this one's looking okay. It's a level 90. Oh, of course, there's another Anky down there. If that thing's like a level 100, maybe I'll switch them on out. Let's see. Oh my god, you gotta be... Alright, do we want the Volcanic 90, or do we want a Aberrant Anky? The Aberrant Anky just looks normal. Screw it. We already have this one. It's fine. We'll just go with the volcanic look. That's totally fine. Alright, let's get it on over to this little island over here, and let's begin the knocking out process. Let's see if we can get this thing. Alright, so the biggest thing when knocking out an Anky is pretty much, they're slow enough where you can kind of just walk backwards, go in circles and everything like that. It's not going to catch you unless you kind of get stuck on a rock, almost like what I did there. Another thing is make sure you don't shoot the shell on top. Try to hit for the legs. Kind of similar to a trike, that it won't take as much damage if you hit the shell and everything like that, or at least I believe that's the case. So, go for the leg shots. It makes it a little bit easier. So we're currently at 32 arrows left, so we've only done about 6 or 7 here. And pretty much this is all I'm going to be doing. Just every couple seconds, take a shot, kind of run around and everything. If it does start running away, it'll, you know, once you do this turn and everything like that, you'll start to kind of notice it pretty quickly if they're starting to run away. But yeah, we should be... You're already running? Oh wow, we could have gotten a lot higher than this. I don't feel like you're actually running away, though. I feel like it's... You're, like, not aggroed to me, so you're running, and then eventually you're going to turn around and come back after me. Yeah, see, it's starting to turn back around here, it looks like. Maybe not, I don't know. There we go. It's out, wow. And we have 20 Tranks left. Wow, okay. Sweet. So you know what we're going to do, actually? We are going to need to go get a ton of Mejo Berries. You know what I should have done? I totally forgot about it. We have Tonka back at base, which can get us a decent amount of Mejos. This thing will take a while for its food to go on down, because, again, we are using berries, not kibble or anything like that. But, again, here's the stats. So 2940 in health, 385 stam, 325 in weight, and 165 melee, which isn't the best, but it's totally fine because, again, it's a level 90. We already have a saddle back at base. We ended up getting, I think in the last episode, possibly, it's either a 60 armor or 70 armor pre-made saddle. So, it's not the end of the world. You don't need a really, really high Anky, especially because it's going to be a utility tame. But because this went so easily, maybe we go out and try to get, like, a Doedicurus. Maybe nothing too crazy. We have 20 Tranks left, so that's definitely a possibility. So yeah, that's what we're going to do, actually. We're going to get Fluffs back out here. It's just so much easier to fly around on Fluffs. And then once we actually find one we like, then we bring out Frostbite, and then we can kind of rinse and repeat with this. So let's see what happens. Let's fly around with... What do you have? Oh, yeah, you have a little bit of raw meat. Okay, let's fly around with Fluffs. Let's see if we can find a Doedicurus. And, yeah, and we'll kind of do the whole rinse and repeat here. Alright, we got a couple of Ankies down here. Let's kind of just drop to the ground. Not Ankies, Doedicuruses, sorry. Let's see what levels. 50 and 15. I'm actually thinking about going for that 50. Because, again, we only have 20 Tranks left. So we'll keep that 50 in mind. Let's look around a little bit more. But I think that 50 is going to be pretty good to go. Because I know Doedicuruses take a little more Tranks and everything to knock on out. So I don't want to end up not being able to knock out the thing. So probably that 50 is going to work. I am going to have to wait the 176 seconds so we don't actually cause cryo sickness to our Argent Frostbite. So I'll keep looking around, but worst case scenario, we'll probably go for that level 50 Doedicurus. So we'll have to see what happens here. Alright, that's a 145 Doedicurus. That's not happening. And we have a couple of Amargasauruses here, and that's a level 20. Nah, that's not going to work. Alright, and what's nice is the Amargasauruses will not aggro us because we're on the back of a Maywing, which is a passive creature. They only seem to aggro aggressive creatures. So if I was on the back of the Argent, yeah, that thing would aggro us. So it's actually good that we are on the back of Fluffs here. The 50 is probably still going to be the best case scenario. Ooh, that looks like a Basilisk. Yeah, it is. Okay. It is already getting dark here. Oh my god, it's already 20. Jesus. So you know what I'm going to do, guys? I'm actually going to head on back to base right now. I'm going to go ahead and get Tonka overnight, because overnight's not actually too long. It's like, I think, 5 to 10 minutes, somewhere around there. It basically gives me enough time to just get a ton of Measure Berries so we can not only feed the Anky, but we can also work on getting the Doedicurus. So, most likely what I'll do is I'll wait till morning to actually get the Doedicurus because, yeah, I'm obviously going to show that on off. So, what I'll do is, let me head back to base, let me get some Measure Berries, and I'll see you guys in the morning of day 22, and, yeah, we'll go ahead and try to get ourselves that Doedicurus, too. Wait for this yellow drop to come on down. So we are currently in day 22. The Anky is still over there. We have ourselves, whoops, I think I have it on the Maywing here. We have ourselves a decent amount of Measure Berries, which should be good enough for the Anky. And also, obviously, in the previous clip, we saw the, I think it was a level 50 Doedicurus, somewhere around there. We're going to go ahead and knock that thing on out. While overnight, I ended up doing a few things at base, including getting ourselves a little bit more narcotics going, ended up making a mortar and pestles for the base, and ultimately we end up gaining a level, which is actually kind of cool. So what are we going to put the stat in? Yeah, you know what? Fortitude is probably the best. So we are currently at level 73 at this point. Let's have a quick look and see what 73 unlocks, if anything interesting. I don't really think anything interesting at 73. No, but we do have the next level is going to be 74, which is the Rex Saddle, which could get pretty interesting here. Alright, let's see what we got. Ghillie Boots. Not the best, but that's okay. It's, you know, better than nothing, basically. But doing the drops early this morning. Ooh, that was a Giga right below me. We got a couple of okay things. Nothing too crazy. I kind of want to see what level that Giga is. I know we're not in any frame of mind of going for a Giga, but it's kind of interesting to see. Oh, and it's an R Giga, too, it looks like. Let's have a quick look at this guy. Oh, yeah, look at you. Oh, my God. 25. Oh, it's just a normal Giga. Oh, okay. It looked like, colors-wise, it looked a little different. So, Getting a little too close to that thing, but that's okay. All right, let's whip around. Let's throw a little bit of food onto the... And, of course, there is a ring around it drop coming down in the redwoods. I am not going over there. No way. Especially in a hardcore series, Thylas are a thing on this map, and I'll always end up getting pounced, so we're not going to bother with that. We're going to work ourselves over here. We're going to put some of the measure berries onto this thing, and then I think we're going to grab that level 50, because, you know what, it's better than nothing. And you know what, even if we don't go through all 20 trank arrows, that's totally fine. I just don't want to get into a situation where we run out of trank arrows. So, yeah, let's take 100 measures. 100 should be fine. Let's kind of throw that on you, and pretty much, I don't know if you're going to tame up right away, but we'll give you a little bit of time. So let's head on out. Where do we see the Doedicurus again? I think it was over this way. Alright, we got a yellow drop coming down, a purple drop. There's a purple with a ring around it up ahead, so we could very well go for that. I think we saw the Doedicurus somewhere over here. Yeah, because there's the iguanodon. Where are the Doedicuruses? Maybe we were a little further this way? Yeah, there's the Parasaur. There's the Lystro. Okay, here we go. Oh, okay, they're attacking a thorny dragon right now. Oh, okay, sweet. Alright, let's get you in a cryo. And then let's get out the... Get out Frostbite here. What do you have on you? Yeah, we'll just take everything. Alright, I want to get out Frostbite. Alright, let's pick you on up. Perfect. Did you take any damage? You don't actually look too damaged, so I think we'll be okay here. Yeah, so essentially, hey, look, it looks like the Anky's tamed. Awesome. Oh, and there's a purple with a ring around it coming down over there, too, so we'll definitely take advantage of that. Let's get this guy over by the ex-Anky, and then we'll start knocking this guy out. But yeah, drops-wise and everything, nothing too crazy. Probably the most important thing that we got, ghillie boots, and we got ourselves an Ascendant Iguanodon saddle. I'm going to get rid of these and this. And yeah, I'm pretty much going to get rid of almost everything that I got in the drops. But the Iguanodon saddle is kind of interesting. Personally, I have not tamed an Iguanodon in a little bit. The only time I ended up ever taming one was in the Center series, and I personally wish I've tamed sorry, not Pteranodons, let's start that over. Iguanodons, I have not tamed since the Center series, and I will say, I really miss having Iguanodons. I really do like them. It's just, it always seems like the level to make the saddle, the level is level 30, I believe, in order to make, like, a primitive one, and at that point, I mean, you're already level 30, you're that close to getting a Pteranodon, you already have a couple of other dinos under your belt. I don't know, it just seems like the level in which to make the saddle has been, if that was decreased to like 15, 20, kind of similar to a trike, I think more people would take advantage of an Iguanodon, because they are really good. It's just kind of based on its level and everything, but let me finish up my rant here. Let's drop this guy on off over by our ex-Anky. Let's knock him on out. Hopefully we can do it with 20 arrows. I think we'll be okay, but you never know. We'll have to see what happens. So, yeah, let's see how this works. So, yeah, same thing with the Doedicurus like with the Anky. They're relatively slow. They're not really going to be able to catch you. So put a shot or two in them and then kind of run around. Make sure not to hit the shell, it'll take reduced damage, so anywhere on the head or anywhere on the tail, and you should be pretty good. Don't hit the spike ball either, because again, same thing, reduced damage. But, couple shots, then kind of run around with it. When you're reloading, you do run a little bit slower, so keep that in mind, it might be able to catch you. And kind of rinse and repeat, basically. Now, you don't want to put too many shots into this thing at once, because once it gets to, I don't even know what the amount of health is, but once it gets pretty low in health, it'll basically go into a ball, and then at that point, we're not going to be able to knock it out or anything like that. So we do have to keep that in mind. We've currently done 8 shots. You can see it's already on the run. Now, when you are using a spot like this, the biggest worry is now making sure that you don't actually, 1, you don't miss, and 2, it doesn't end up going into the water, because then it'll drown. So we don't want that either, basically. So let's see if we can knock this out. Oh, that was a clear shot, too. Let's see if we can knock this thing out. Yeah, this is the worry, that it'll start going towards water. Sometimes you can kind of move it out of the way so it doesn't... Don't go into the water. And you went into the water. Alright. There's a way around this. Let's go get the Argent. We're going to pick it up and kind of just bring it back this way, essentially. Hopefully it doesn't knock out right now, because then it's going to fall into the water and we're kind of screwed. But let's head on over here. Oh, okay, it's coming on back. Sweet. So we don't even have to worry at this point. Let's do this. Fall on off. We have 6 shots left. Five shots left. Yeah, we might not be able to get this thing, which is kind of crazy. Alright, it's on the run. Alright, looks like we have 2 shots left. Come on. And that's it. That's 0 shots left. Alright, we could do the whole punch and everything. I guess we could do that. I can't believe we're at this point where I have to punch this. And it's out. Oh my god, that's actually hilarious that we're able to get this done. Okay, so we have ourselves a level 50 Doedicurus. It will take a while for it to, for its food to go on down, kind of similar to the Anky here. So that actually gives us enough time to get on back to base with the Anky, and then we can start harvesting some metals. So, real excited to do that. I think what we're going to do at this point is, I think I'm just going to throw I'm going to throw about 100 measure berries in here. And again, it'll take some time, but eventually that thing will be ours. So, let's go into our little thing, turn this on, perfect. Frostbite, you are going to be cryoed also, and let's get Fluffs out here, because we do have a couple of drops to go for. So we had the purple with the ring around it first, and then there's a couple of other ones. I think there was a yellow with a ring around it. I don't know if it's still available, but we'll have to check. Yeah, there's a couple of drops. So let's get to those and see what we get. All right, scope attachment. Great start to this one. Hey, we got a mammoth saddle. That's kind of cool. Alright guys, here we are back at base. Let's get ourselves the Anky saddle out here. Also, we ended up getting a lot of different things. Most notably, a Ascendant Beezle Bufo saddle, which is a Bullfrog saddle. We got ourselves a Flak Gauntlet blueprint, which is pretty good. The Mammoth saddle we went over. We got this really good Capro saddle, but personally, I'm never going to tame a Capro, so unfortunately 173.2 probably not going to be used. We got ourselves a scope, we got ourselves a few other pretty good things along the way. But yeah, the Ascendant Iguanodon saddle was definitely interesting. But let's throw some stuff in here, and then we'll throw the rest in. It's not this one, it's this one. Okay, so let's get the saddle away, the boots, that, and that, and then the rest of it's just going to get put in here. So 1, 2, and like I said, I'm going to organize these and stuff in the future, but for right now, it is what it is. But it's a 62.1 Anky saddle. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually just use our, let me go into third person. It might make it a little bit easier here. We're just going to use our Sinomacrops to get ourselves all the way over to the other area, so we can start getting ourselves some metal. This thing is going to work out amazingly. I want to make sure that I don't crash because, like, literally, if I fall to the ground and die, that's it. The series is over. Imagine that's the way I end up going. Anyways, we can get out of third person at this point because now we don't necessarily need to be in it. But let's get ourselves the Anky out here. Let's put the saddle on this thing. It's already gotten a level. Personally, I'm not going to bother putting anything into weight. Everything's going to go into melee, because if you guys don't know, higher melee means more yield, which basically means more melee, you're going to get more metal every time you strike it. So that's essentially what we're going to go for here. Can you start moving? There we go. Sweet. To give you an idea, 142 metal just from one rock. And we're going to just keep doing this. So 142, 135, and that should be able to get that one up there. There we go, 139. And we're going to get rid of everything else, because we don't necessarily need this stuff. And again, kind of rinse and repeat. Give it all the levels are going to go into melee, and we're going to just kind of keep going around like this. Now, at this point, we're already 3/4 full. What I'm actually going to do is... this is where the Cynomacrops comes into play here. Now, we have not put any levels on our Cynomacrops, and we're going to continue to not put any levels on our Cynomacrops because eventually I do want to end up breeding them. But for right now, we can take as much as we can here. Come on. Alright, I think that's the most. I think we're still able to move. Now, can we? No, we cannot actually fly at this point. So... we're going to put a little bit of metal on here. Going to put a little metal on there, and now at this point we should be able to fly. So let's go again back into third person, run on over, use the Cynomacrops. We're going to fly ourselves back to base and essentially just put everything inside of the forges and kind of just rinse and repeat here. So we should be getting ourselves a decent amount of metal. The plan is, or at least the next step is, we're out of trank arrows at this point, so I would really like to find myself a long neck, but at least if we can get the ball rolling on getting ourselves, instead of using just normal trank arrows, we can start actually making ourselves, what are they called, like the trank darts or whatever. I think that's just going to work out the best at the end of the day, but let's plop that in here. So currently we have 360, and that's just from one area. We still have to go over to that area, and we still have that area over there. So we're actually looking pretty good here. Doedicurus looks like it's at 88%, so it'll be done in a little bit. So I'm just going to kind of continue, rinse and repeat, and just basically go after all these metal nodes. So let's see how much metal we can end up gathering. Alright guys, so we ended up getting a decent amount of metal. So just from that little run here, we ended up getting 326 metal for this one, 326 for this one, 326 for this one, and 325 for this one. So to give you an idea, 300, 600, 900, 1200, about 1300 total metal just from that little run, which is absolutely crazy. So a couple of nodes there, a couple of nodes in the middle there, couple of nodes over there, and again, this is only a level 90 Anky that we're working with. It's not like the melee is absolutely amazing. It's not like it's imprinted or anything like that. So just an average Anky, and we got a lot of metal. And what's really cool is the metal nodes, because we've built our base this far away, the metal nodes will respawn. It just takes a little bit of time. So we are constantly going to have metal here. There are a couple of places nearby where we can get a lot more metal too, so we can always use those if need be. But what I'm going to do between the episodes, guys, I am going to actually get the refining forges going, smelt all that metal down. I may, in fact, craft up, whether I do it between the episodes, whether I do it at the beginning of the next episode, I think we're going to go ahead and just craft a primitive long neck rifle, because it is going to be an upgrade compared to our normal our normal primitive crossbow. And at the same time, as much as I would love to make this thing, we ended up getting this in a drop at one point, 352 damage, 4,989 metal for only 553 durability, to me is just not worth it. Or at least for right now, it's not worth it. Primitive by itself will be an upgrade on its own, so we're able to get that done. By the way, guys, I have in fact gotten ourselves the Doedicurus. The Doedicurus ended up as level 74. Again, nothing too crazy. This Doedicurus is really meant for when we move base and everything like that. Eventually, we'll probably move again. And, yeah, we'll be able to craft up another house. We'll be able to do all of pretty much Doedicurus's, mammoths, stuff like that. Our utility dinos, where they're really going to be used for just the construction, essentially. There's no real use for them besides that. We did get that mammoth saddle, so we might actually, in the next episode, go after a mammoth. That might actually be kind of cool. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, I like to have myself a mammoth for the wood gathering and also the thatch gathering. But at this point, guys, that's going to wrap up the episode. It is getting a little bit dark at this point. It's 2100. So I'm going to take my time between the episodes to, yeah, get some wood, get those refining forges going. And in the next episode, we will be in the long neck phase, which is absolutely awesome. But that's going to wrap up this one, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to smash that like button. And on top of that, guys, if you're enjoying my content, make sure to hit that subscribe button. It really helps the channel out. And I'll see you guys in the next one.